Hi, here's another one of the easiest questions from the AIME, except it's actually one of the mid questions. It's problem 6, right? So these are questions that might often be a little bit more challenging, might take time, but this is definitely an exception because there's a very easy way to do it if you know what you're doing. And just before I get into it, this probably seems very familiar to other things that you've seen, right? And I think there are like mainly two concepts at play. So there is definitely the concept of, I don't know, it doesn't really have a name, but the sorts of questions where you have to find the number of paths. Obviously, that's literally what this is. But to actually do that, there's also a little bit of stars and bars involved. Okay, so if you wanted some hints, if you were unsure how to start, hopefully those two concepts might, help you decide how to approach it. But let's just dive right in, right? So let's read the question first, read it carefully, and definitely look at the examples as well. So we're going from the bottom left, right, this lower left corner to the upper right corner in 16 moves. And it's an 8 by 8 grid. So we go up 8 times and to the right 8 times. And that means we don't have any extra moves to like take an extra loop. Like you can't go up like this and then go, you can't do something like that because you've only got 16 moves. So you can't waste time. Right? You have to go up 8 times, right 8 times. You can't go left, you can't go down, none of that. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, let's look at the next step, right? That change direction exactly 4 times. So what do you mean by change direction? Well, if you're going up, then you need to go, then you go right, that's changing direction. When you're going right and you switch to going up, you're changing direction there. And so what does that mean? Well, just look at these examples. You're going right for one section here, then you're going right for another section here, then you're going right for another section here. You're going up for one section, up for another section. So you're going to go up for 2 sections and right for 3 sections, or right for 2 sections and up for 3 sections, um, which is reflected in this other example over here. Okay, now each in total, how many times you have to go right? You have to go right 8 times. In total, how many times you have to go up? You have to go up 8 times as well, right? That's pretty basic because you're just going like overall the distance, the displacement from here is right 8 and up 8. And now those are kind of the constraints we have. There's just one other thing which you have to be a little careful about. You obviously to change direction, you have to actually do a move, right? You can't do nothing and then go up. That doesn't count as changing direction. Just like going right, 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 then doing 0 moves up and then going right again doesn't change direction. Okay, so you have to have a length of at least one. And then the other thing that you have to be a little wary of is that you have to have different cases for when you're going up first and then right, right? So up 3 times and right 2 times, or the other way when you're going right first, then up, right, right? So and there's symmetric cases, so you can actually just multiply by 2 and just consider one of the cases and then multiply by 2. But those are all the considerations that you have to keep in mind, right? Now we can actually get into the math. I spent a lot of time saying all this, but the more you practice, the faster it'll be, right? Like you don't have to actually think through all of that and clearly articulate that. You'll hopefully just have it, in your mind, and then you'll multiply and you'll do the corresponding adjustments later on yourself. Okay, let's see. So let's say you have 3 sections and you have to do 8 in total, right? You have to do 8 between 3 sections. This is stars and bars. So you can imagine it as like 3 little balls over here, or sorry, 8 balls. I'll draw them all out. And then you want to break them into 3 groups. So you put 2 lines. And these 2 lines give you, well, 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups. This would be the normal case. However, over here, like I said earlier, you need at least one in each of them, right? So how can we do that? Well, it's very easy. You can just take 3 of them out, say, okay, we're just going to automatically put one of these um, in each of the groups, right? And so remove them. Now what are we left with? So imagine that those are just erased. Now we've got 5 balls and 2 lines to pick. So that's a total of 7 things. And then from those 7, you're just choosing 2 of the spots to be the dividers. So 7 choose 2. Okay. Now what's the other case? The other case is where you have again 8 stars and bars. Oh, sorry. I don't know why I was going to like balls and circles. It's stars and bars, right? So these should just be stars instead. My bad. In case the terminology was confusing. Yeah, sorry about that. Over here we have 8 stars, so I just draw like 8 of them. And we need 2 groups, so you just need one divider. But again, the same consideration is at play. You need at least one in both of them. So in reality, this just becomes 6 stars and 1 bar. And so what is that? That's just going to be 7 choose 1, right? Hopefully that makes sense. So 7 choose 1. Okay. And that's it, right? We're done now. So we just need to find these and multiply them. That would be true, except remember again, like I mentioned earlier, there are two cases: when you go right and then up, or when you go up and then right. So we have to multiply that by 2. Now what is 7 choose 1? That's just 7. So it's 2 times something times 7. 7 choose 2 is 7 times 6 divided by 2. So that's just going to be 21. And what does this give you? This gives you, oh sorry, that's not 2, that's a 7 over there. So this will just give you 14 times 21. And this is a math trick that, or a multiplication trick. Just put a 2 here, then you cross multiply, so 8 plus 1, and then here you have 0 and 4, so 4, 9 and 2, 294, and just say that you're done.